Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. More people getting in here. Man, this is exciting. No, it's exciting for me at least. It's exciting for me at least. Oh, we got some more hopping on right here as we're getting close to five. It's getting down to it. We're getting close to five, and I'm getting excited. Hello, my friends that just joined us. My name's Luke. We're about to get started, so I won't bore you with saying a bunch of things two and three times. But as more people join in, I can assure you that we're going to have some fun. You're going to get to meet some interesting people. Hey, is it Miss Thompson? Thompson, what's your first name? Type it in the chat. Thank you for typing in the chat. It's so good to hear from you. Lena, is that it? Lena, wonderful. So nice to meet you. And please, Stacy and Mr. or Patel, Mr. or Mrs. Patel. I can't see, so please forgive me, guys. I'll make myself look silly all night trying to pronounce everybody's names. But I want to address you guys, and I want to connect, and I want this to be fun and engaging. So thank you for typing in the chat. Thank you for being here. We are going to get started in 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. I don't care how many people we got. We're going to have some fun. We did have about 36, I think was the final number that registered. So it's certainly good to see you all. We're here in Fume Hood Certified's headquarters, Phoenix, Arizona. It's 4:59 here. That means I'm 1 minute early for 5 o'clock somewhere, but that's okay. The kettle one has been poured, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Ronald. Ronald's got him a cocktail. We're going to do a cheers here later, but there's you one for now. We're all going to get to do a cheers. I got to wipe my screen off so that. So, if you guys like my background, oh, wait, you can see I really worked hard to try to get this. So it looked like I wasn't sitting in an office. Perfect. You'd think I was in a TV studio. Welcome, welcome. Ginger ale for me. Welcome. Lena, cheers to that. Cheers to that. I'm certain that people will probably be joining us as we go on. But I do have somewhat of a itinerary for tonight's meeting, for our rendezvous. Hey, Ronald is Ronald moves back and forth from Texas and West Tennessee, so I'm pretty sure he's in West Tennessee. But in the chat, since Lena is chatting with me in the chat, Lena, where are you from? Where are you from? This is going to be so fun because I just know that there's going to be people from all over the place hop on. We've got, oh my goodness, North Carolina. Is that where Biltmore Mansion is? Because I think I've been there. No, that might be South Carolina. I slept a lot in geography. I don't know. North Carolina, what a beautiful, beautiful place. Yes, it's in Asheville. Well, in that case, I am a big fan of North Carolina. It's very pretty out there. I can remember driving because it wasn't that long ago. I can remember driving in just driving the roads of North Carolina. We got these beautiful trees, and I went in the fall time. By the way, I went in the fall time. I bet you'll agree with me that North Carolina is incredible in the fall time. At least I thought that it was. So wait, never eat soggy worms. West Tennessee. Ronald, how close are you to Memphis? You can unmute yourself or you can type in the chat. How close are you to Memphis?
Probably about 2.5 hours away. We're in the northwestern part, so we're close to,
Gotcha.
the bottom of Illinois and Kentucky there.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, hey, how close are you to Metropolis, Indiana?
It's
No,
actually
is that in
Metropolis,
Illinois?
Illinois. Yeah.
Oh, it's in Illinois.
Yeah,
How close are you there?
About an hour and a half away.
Okay, so
Yes.
guys, I visited Metropolis, and
Yes.
that's Superman's city. Oh my gosh, that was so fun. That was it. Well, I didn't visit. I was driving, and on my way back home, I had to stop. So I stopped and had lunch there, and it's actually a quite hysterical lunch story. But no, it's a really cool place. So I know a little bit where you're at, and I bet you it wouldn't take you about 3.5 hours to get down to Corinth, where I'm from in Mississippi.
That could be, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Wonderful. Well, friends, here we are at 5:03, and I will just go ahead and get started with some of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, I'm sure that a few more people will come in. Please feel free to unmute yourself. Everybody has the ability to unmute themselves, right? Like, I know that I can ask you to unmute, and I'll try not to do that too much. I'll try not to put you on the spot, but please, you can unmute yourself and chime in. The chat is always open. Here we got somebody else coming in. The chat is always open, so I'm trying to keep my eye on it. So talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. We'll let Stan the man get in and connected on the audio. Stan, you can there's a chat box, my friend. You're more than welcome to chat with us in the chat box. You can also unmute yourself and chime in whenever you want to, but we're super glad to have you. Now, with that being said, welcome, my friends. Let's start our virtual open house here at 5:05. I'm sure more people will kind of come in. Like I said, here at Phoenix, Arizona, at the Fume Hood Certified headquarters, basically. But as you'll see here in a moment when I take you for a tour, that it is really just a glorified warehouse that we really tricked out in order to do fume hood testing and fume hood videos and create all the different things that we do. So what do we do? Tell me in the chat, Stan, Stacy, Patel, tell me in the chat, how familiar are you? Scale of 1 to 5, just type 1 to 5, 1, 3, 5, 4. How familiar are you with Fume Hood Certified? Chime in. So I'll tell you what we do. We are a fume hood training and testing advocacy company. You like that? We're a fume hood training and testing advocacy company. I don't know where I came up with that. 4. Good. I don't know where I came up with that definition, but what that means is we know that 2 things can be improved when it comes to dealing with fume hoods and dealing with fume hood safety and their performance. And when we're dealing with that, we know that 2 things are very important. One, we want to improve training to everybody, all people that have all stakeholders of fume hoods, and we want to improve testing of the fume hoods. Obviously, a fume hood tester would be the ones that are coming to do these tests, but a proper test benefits more. It benefits everybody. It benefits the user most, but it also benefits the lab owner, the lab manager. It benefits the tester. Testing the hood the right way benefits everybody because there's liabilities, guys. I mean, safety is not something to be toyed with. Especially when you're dealing with chemical fume hoods, we've got these chemicals that we're working with here, and training and testing to make sure that the hood is doing what it's supposed to do and getting the fumes out of your breathing zone is the number one thing. And fume hoods are a complicated. Chip has told me this, that fume hoods are a very complicated device. You look at it in the lab and you say, look, there's a fume hood. It's a standalone device. Like, it's just, there's the box, and I guess above the ceiling it's hooked to something, but most people don't know what. And so Chip would tell you, if you've ever read his book, that it's much more than just the fume hood. To make a fume hood work properly and to contain properly and to keep users and everyone else in the lab, by the way, to keep those people safe, it requires the fume hood itself, an HVAC system, ventilation on the roof. It requires the user to know. User has to know how to operate and work around the hood, right? Actually, we've got some really great videos on our YouTube channel that can show how a user's activities will affect the performance of the fume hood and its ability to contain. So it takes more than just the fume hood. We can't just know, or we can't just think that we know that the fume hood's on. The fume hood works. Hooray, hooray, the fume hood works. That's not as simple as it is. In fact, it's far more complex than that. And if you guys would like to know more about Fume, this is not what this whole virtual open house is about, but I just wanted you to know our passion and our heart for, and our mission. Our mission statement: making labs safer, one fume hood at a time. Because those safety devices like fume hoods and like biological safety cabinets and anything, I mean, heavens, your goggles, any personal PPE, right? Personal protective equipment, like all of that is there for the safety of you and the safety of those around you. So it's definitely something we should take seriously. And so with that, we create products for testing and for training. One point is our in-person workshops that we're now doing. We host them here at our facility in Phoenix, and it's a lot of fun. We just wrapped up our inaugural class, the first class ever, and it was a blast. Like, we wrapped up like an hour ago, and here we are hanging out with you guys. The rest of them are actually still in the warehouse. I'm going to take you around on our warehouse tour here in a second, and on the facility tour, and you'll get to meet some of the people that have been. I don't know. Here, check out my shirt real quick. Obviously, Hoodie the Fume Hood. You'll notice that everybody in the other room is wearing a different hoodie shirt. So you'll get to see that. I'm just telling you, we've had a lot of fun. So in-person trainings, teaching people about the fume hood and how it operates and how complex that it is. And then we do online training. We've got multiple online courses. Even one of them is free, one that you can access right now. And I'm going to share more about that with you at the end of this call. And then we have others that are paid, but you can literally become a certified fume hood tester completely online with us. This is what your certificate would look like. Pretty cool, huh? We just gave 11. We had 12, but one lady didn't get to come this weekend. We just gave 11 of these out. We just certified 11 fume hood testers. And let me tell you, they know their stuff. Okay. This has been a robust 2 days. These guys know their stuff. And what a great group it's been. I wish you guys could meet all these guys. It's been such a fun group. But the next thing that we do, we've invented some products, okay? With Chip Albright, our president of Fume Hood Certified, has invented not only one, but 2 different testing products, which we're not going to dive into at this call. I'm just in this intro. I just want to talk about them for just a second. Number 1 is the Tricolor Fume Hood Visualizer. The Tricolor Fume Hood Visualizer it uses haze and lasers to make air visible. Okay. We all know the air is invisible, right? Did you see that? Did you see that? No, you didn't. Of course, air is invisible. So using haze, well, maybe think of like a vape or something, or like a disco fogger at the club. You know what I mean? At the club, or at a theatrical haze. You know what I'm talking about. But when you get theatrical haze out, now you can start to see how the airflow moves. Okay. So we take haze, theatrical haze, we put it inside the fume hood, and then we put lasers in. Actually, there's a laser right here. Beep, beep, beep. So we take lasers and we put it inside the fume hood, and now the lasers start to bounce off that smoke that's in there. And it actually, you get to see the airflow and the air patterns in a way that you've never seen it before. And then obviously the job of the fume hood is to take the air and to move it out and up the exhaust stack. You gone? So nice to meet you. One of our students is leaving. She was an A+ student. I'm going to miss her. Anyway, but Tricolor. So oh, wonderful. We've got somebody else joining with us. So Tricolor is one of our products. And the second product that I mainly want to talk about is a software called the Fume Hood Performance Tracker. Now, the Fume Hood Performance Tracker is a software that allows you to build a database, if you're a hood tester, to build a database of all of your clients and to store them in a way that's easily accessible to you. Okay. And you know what else it does? It allows us to give. I know I've got some I do have some labels. Check this out. I do have some labels. We put these HIN labels on the hood. So this is just like a certification. It's not a new thing that fume hoods have to have a label that say they've been certified and tested and working. But this is a new type of label. You can scan this QR code and it will take you directly to the test results that the fume hood tester uploaded to the software. So anybody that has access to the hood, a user, EHS, lab manager, another tester, the tester that comes and tests it next year, he can come and scan the HIN label, the HIN, the HIN label, and he will be able to test it, and he'll be able to see the test results from the previous test and to know if that hood is passing or failing or containing or not containing, or when it was tested, what procedures were done when it was tested. So all that lives on the cloud on that software. So those are the two things that I mainly wanted to talk about. Tricolor Fume Hood Visualizer, which is an actual physical product that goes inside the fume hood to help you understand its containment ability. Oh man, we got some more people coming in. Come on in, come on in. So Tricolor, and then Fume Hood Tracker software, the Fume Hood Performance software. So that is all I'm going to bore you guys with about little products. But now you know a little bit about us. And I'm so thankful that you gave me that a little bit of time. So we've got a couple of new friends with us, and I think that they're both named Elise. And that's wonderful, Elise and Elise. Guys, we got a chat coming in, and Dave is in. Dave, good, welcome, David. Guys, we got a chat down in below. You can see a chat. Please chime in, type into the chat. Elise, David, say hello. Stan, care. Oh, Stan is asking questions. Thank you, Stan. Thank you for asking questions, because that's what this is about. Guys, ask me questions, chime in down in the chat. Stan asked, and then we're going to move on to some fun stuff. This is really cool, but I can address this really quickly. How does FHC testing certification compare with the certifications from NEB and CETA? And is it based around the ASHRAE 110 method? So what we do, our Tricolor protocol actually stacks on top of the ASHRAE 110 method. And ASHRAE 110 actually isn't a pass-fail test. If you look down into the standard and read the fine print, it's actually not a pass-fail test. And actually, like 80% of ASHRAE tests are what are called modified tests. So down in the standard, it says it in the fine print, ASHRAE 110 is basically as manufactured test. And if you need to do more robust testing, and if you need to get down and dirty with it, so to speak, then you'll have to, because, well, think about it. In a lab, there's all kind of different things going. There's people moving, the users moving, there's things in the hood, there's all kinds of stuff. So it's not really how the fume hood left the factory, is it? No, when it gets installed and it's being used in the lab, it's very different. It's in a very different environment, and it behaves differently than when it left the factory, right? So ASHRAE actually says, modify our test, modify our testing protocol to suit the needs of your lab. Did you know that? So NEB and ASHRAE also, they in their verbiage says you have to have a certification from NEB, CETA, or well, they don't say them by name, but they say an equal or like company, an equal or like certification, an equal, because NEB and CETA, you know what I mean? Think about all the, there's dozens of other standards from all over the world and things. So in North America, yes, we use those things, and ASHRAE is our Bible, our standard, what we base everything off of. But ASHRAE is a really interesting beast. It's a really interesting beast. There's a lot to uncover there, but I'm talking too much about things. Stan, you need to hop on one of our town hall meetings that we host with Chip and all our other partners and stuff. And man, they can even tell you more about that stuff than I can. But hey, does everybody have a happy hour drink? Does everybody got a happy hour drink, or is it just me? Am I the only alcoholic on the? I'm not, just kidding. Everybody got a happy hour drink? Let's cheers to that. Welcome, 518 here in Phoenix. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. I've made my introduction. I've told you a little bit about us. Now I would really love to hear from you guys. I'm not gonna ask you to unmute yourself. I can do that. I can click the button. But I know two people will probably humor me. Ronald, would you mind unmuting yourself and just introducing yourself and tell me again tell the group where you're from and tell me again what you do. Would you mind?
Sure. Ron Arredondo. I've been in the laboratory casework industry for over 30 years. Met Chip probably over about 25 years ago, maybe. Have designed fume hoods my entire life. I've been involved with testing fume hoods also, ASHRAE testing fume hoods, NIH testing, EPA testing, and currently in Western Tennessee, have worked for some larger fume hood manufacturers, including Fisher Hamilton and Jamestown Metal, and currently with One Point Solutions as a manager of product development.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Here we've got somebody else joining us. Come on in the house. And if I might pick on one more person, David Weber, would you humor me and just unmute your microphone? Would you mind giving us a hello and telling us where you're from, and maybe tell us your relation to Chip, because you guys are about to find out this is a special guest on this call of ours. So David, hello, what's happening?
Luke, I didn't know alcohol was allowed in this call. I came totally unprepared.
What are you talking about? It's almost a requirement for a fume hood certified.
Hey, doing a great job, Luke. Nice to have you, man. You're doing a super job. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you. Is that Koji? Oh my gosh, it's Koji. Dave, give us an introduction. Tell me, because you're at home, aren't you? So tell us where you're from and tell us your relation to Chip, because I told you guys, Dave's a special one. Talk to me.
Yeah, much like Ron. And hello, Ron. We haven't talked for a long, long time. Yeah, much like Ron, I've known Chip since probably almost 30 years now. I've known Chip. He and I have done some things together and continue to do this. And he was thoughtful enough a few years ago to invite me in to be part of Fume Hood Certified, and it's been a great run. We're having a great time. Just a bunch of old guys, other than Luke. He's our younger guy who keeps us balanced. But so happy to be thrilled to be on board with something like this. Just having a whole lot of fun, and based here in Ohio. So I don't get out to Phoenix enough, but we're involved with Chip and what we're doing every single day.
Man, that's so good. It's so good to see you. And Koji, I'm about to get to you. Koji, do you mind giving us a little introduction? I didn't know you were going to be here. I'm so excited to see you.
Yeah, of course.
So nice please introduce yourself, my friend, and tell them where you're from, tell them where you're chiming in from, and then tell them your relationship to Chip, because Koji is a deep friend of Chip's. He is a valued friend of ours at Fume Hood Certified. So tell them a little bit about you and where you're from, my friend. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Thank you, Luke. Yeah, this is Koji from Economax USA out of New Jersey. We have an office nearby Pennsylvania, northwest of the New Jersey. And Economax used to be, airflow technology development. And since then, we offer fume hood testing, especially for ASHRAE 110. So, and the Economax take over the business. And I think last almost 10 years, we find Chip as an industry expert and serve the customer together. And recently, Chip speeding up his business and get more partners Economic still does the same thing, but we are really excited about the new launch, and then also that you guys open the new facilities, you know. So yeah,
Yes.
I'm really excited to join this. So thank you.
Thank you, Koji. Thank you. That was wonderful. Like I said, a good friend of us here at Fume Hood Certified. So good to see you. Like Koji said, he's up in New Jersey, and he is a managing partner of Canamax USA. So they're a company out of Japan. Yes, right? Out of Japan. And they have yes, beautiful. And they have their American offices run out of New Jersey. And I've had the pleasure of getting to hang out with Koji a couple of times. So good to see David and Ronald and Koji. And like I said, oh, Lena, you're asking such great questions. Thank you. And I'm gonna touch that question real quick for you. Yes, a fume hood tester needs to be certified. Why? Because if you went and started certifying hoods as safe and they weren't safe and somebody actually got hurt, and then somebody said, well, who's testing all these hoods? And they point back at you. Now you're the one that's getting in trouble. They're bringing you into the liability. And they say, well, how do you test these? What's the industry standard? What did you do? How did you test these? And what are you supposed to say? I don't know. I'm not certified. What education? Who taught you to do this? What are the, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not, you know, that would not be a very good look. So it is very important to be certified for the person that is testing the hood to be certified. So, and to be properly certified as well, so that all parties involved are better off and they're safe. And yeah, so moving on, guys, this is so much fun. Thank you guys for actually participating, because there was a small part of me that was wondering if I was going to be here like, hey, everybody. But so who's ready to go on a studio tour? So what I'm going to do, I have a second device that I'm logged on here. So I need to start the video. And then what I'm going to do, one sec, hang in with me. This transition will only take a second. AirPods out. Okay, so I should be unmuted and you should be able to see me and hear me. Can you? Can somebody type in the chat just to make sure that my phone audio is working? Can somebody type in the chat, make sure that you can hear me? Or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Oh, we can. Great. Thank you, guys. So we are going to start our studio tour. Now, we're going to go this way. Here is the front office of our new warehouse. So the front office, and actually the main man himself is sitting right here. We're going to get a chance to talk to you. Give me a high five, Chip. This is Chip's desk. This is where he spends hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of time coming up with this stuff, coming up with all these products and inventions. Nate, what's happening? This is our bartender for the night. Most important man in the house. This is Miss Rhonda, the most beloved, the queen of Fume Hood Certified is what she is. And so here's our warehouse. We're moving through. I told you we got a few friends in here. And I already told these guys that I was going to be bouncing around and not to be too shy. But so we've got some food here. Oh, man. But yeah, this is the production and inventory side of the warehouse. Yeah. It's not necessarily Apple headquarters. Yeah, Steve Jobs doesn't necessarily work here, but it's really nice. Here's our Chip Albright bobblehead and the Laboratory Fume Hoods Explained book that you can pick up on our website, fumehoodcertified.com. This book has also been turned into a free course that you can also access online. So we've condensed it down to a bite-sized online course that is really easy to consume. So thanks, Chip. Hey, Chip, should the guys get on and take the online course? Yeah, he said yes. He's nodding. That was supposed to be a joke. Okay. Check it out. We got Hoodie in the house. We got our Lick'em Stick'em mannequin. You know, there he is. Moving around. Restroom, janitor's closet. Again, this is the production and inventory side of the warehouse. This is the classroom and training side of the warehouse, okay? Here's some more students that we've been recently hanging out with this week. What's up, guys? These are some beloved students of ours, valued friends, because they came all the way from Colombia. Cheers, cheers to that. Woo. So we've got a couple of fume hoods set up here. Both of these are functioning. And we, matter of fact, you can see that we've been doing some experiments here. We've been simulating some explosions. Literally. I mean, it's right. That's why this sash is an important part of the hood, because it protects you from that explosion, right? So we were doing a little bit of testing and training with that. Over here in this hood, we have the tricolor fume hood visualizer. And this is what I was talking about on the call when I first logged on. I told you about a software and I told you about a physical product. I told you about two things. And this is one of those things. So this is the box. Here is the haze that you can see is currently getting ejected out, okay? And we take a step outside of the hood and using the lasers, remember I told you about the lasers, using the lasers, you can see the red smoke and you can see, guys, look at that. Have you ever seen air behave like that? Have you ever seen air so clearly? Now, see this green, how it starts to pop up? What I've done is I've turned down the hood blower so that it will stop sucking. And now we're seeing loss of containment. We're seeing fumes escape the hood in real time. Where did these fumes come from? Well, we know they came from inside of the hood, and now we can see them light up in green. We can see it light up in green. So we know that it came from inside and now it's outside, and that is definitely not what we want. That's not the job of the fume hood. The job of the fume hood is to take anything that's in or around and exhaust it out, right? Exhaust it out. So if you see green, if any of this smoke can get on the opposite side of the sash into my breathing zone, right? It will get lit up with the green laser, and that is the technology behind Tricolor Fume Hood Visualizer. So that's what it looks like. Now you guys are a little bit familiar with that. Over here, we've got some other testing equipment. We've got, hey buddy, how are you? Doing great. Hey, cheers. We're having some fun in here. This is some more of our things. Deep storage up there. David knows we didn't have deep storage in our other office. We barely had any storage. This is shipping, our shipping area, okay? This is our shipping area. Hello and welcome. This is my desk. This is where all the camera gear goes. This is where all the cameras go because I'm the video guy. Got a couple of hoodie stickers. Yeah, got a couple of hoodie. Put it in the chat. If you want a hoodie sticker, maybe we can send you one. You want a hoodie sticker? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. So shipping. Got some shipping stuff for all our products, all the different things that come and go through the doors, the Fume Hood Certified. And now we come back full circle. Where did we start? We started in our office. So here we are back in the office. And let's see if I can do one of those. Yeah, one of those endless tunnels. Isn't that funny? I'm sorry, I'm a videographer. Plus I have ADHD and I get distracted by things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unmute my laptop. If at first you don't succeed, try again. So Chip, scoot up with me just a little bit. Let me get out of your way. Get out of your way. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce, often imitated, never duplicated, the man, the myth, the legend. That was a pretty good intro, wasn't it? So this is Chip Albright, and like I said, I already told you he's the inventor of Tricolor. He's the author of Laboratory Fume Hoods Explained, and I've got a couple of questions for him, and I wanted to just get to introduce. So, you got anything to say? Kick us off. What's happening?
Well, I think we just finished up a 2-day workshop and quite happy with how it went. It's a changing time in the industry, and one of the things that really we wanted to try to do was improve testing, because testing has been too complicated, too expensive, and so a lot of people didn't do it. And depending on which estimate you want to go by, there's a large percentage of hoods in the world that don't work. And so what I wanted to do, I was exposed to lasers back in 2007 in Taiwan, but it was in a lab setting. So they had a very expensive setup. You had to wear laser protection, all that. And I said, it's a great concept if we could figure out how to commercialize it. And so I was doing mostly international work. And then unfortunately, COVID came along and stopped all of that. So I wrote the book. And then from that, I said, well, you know, so many people told me if we could just make testing simple. And so I said, well, you know, I like lasers. And then so if I can figure out a way to simplify the process so that anybody can do it. So it took me about 1.5 years to develop the ejector. And I went through many failures. And so we were having a partners meeting. I have 4 partners, Luke is one of them. And they said, well, it's too complicated. You need to make it simple. And I said, well, how simple? He said, simple enough a 5th grader can do it. And so with that, I said, okay, now I have my criteria. And so I greatly simplified it. We went from fog to haze. Haze is a much thinner form of fog, same chemical, propylene glycol, but it's diluted down, so it's not so dense. It's also cooler the way it's produced, so when it comes out of the ejector, it's not as violent. Because a lot of times the violent release of the fog disrupts the airflow. So what you're seeing is what the fog machine is doing, not what the hood's doing. So we spent a lot of time working through that. And that's where Tricolor came from. So we now have a process that's extremely visual, and it's very simple, it's very cost effective. And so we're getting more and more people who want to start using it. So we have testers, we have institutions like universities that are buying into it for their in-house testing. And I think it's going to continue to grow in popularity as the time goes. So given that I've been doing this for 40 years, it's about time for me to pass the torch along. And so as such, you know, I really wanted to spend the last few years of my career educating people and making them capable of picking up where I left off and continuing. So that was the motivation to do all this. And it's been a lot of fun, a lot more work than I had thought it was going to be. But hopefully you'll come across Tricolor somewhere, either as a user, a tester, whatever. So I think that it's going to change the industry, and this is its 3rd birthday, so it's still relatively new. For those of you who've raised small children, you know what it's like, you know, the terrible 2s and then the 3s. So we're getting to the point where now I think the product is much more recognized. We're about next month, we're going to be awarded the Lab Manager Magazine Innovative Product of the Year Award for the product. So I think more and more people are recognizing what it does and how it does it. So hopefully, you know, you'll find this as something that's interesting. And I know we have a large group here and from all different backgrounds. So hopefully we'll encounter you somewhere, and we'd love to have you on our team if it makes sense for you. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Lou.
Well said. Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
One more. So that was a wonderful explanation of why and where did it come from, the idea for Tricolor. Why are you motivated to make something at this stage in your career? That was a wonderful answer for that. So now you know a little bit about Chip's heart for creating the book, for creating the courses, for creating the new products. But tell me, I would really love to hear maybe just one of your favorite stories of a 40-year Fume Hood career. This can be the most interesting character you've ever met, the interesting person, or maybe the worst hood story that you've ever seen, or maybe the most irresponsible hood story. You know what I mean? What do you think?
I think one of my favorite. I mean, you can tell from the color of the shirts, red's one of my favorite colors. And so when I worked for a well-known company in the 1980s, early 80s, we used to go do Fume Hood demonstrations, and we would use a smoke candle, smoke bomb, some people call it. So you light it and it burns. And so they had colors at the time. They pretty much got away from that. There's that one company. And anyway, so I had red. Now, this was long before 9/11 and TSA, so you could put them in a briefcase and nobody cared. And so I was visiting a university down in the South, and I had to walk through the chemistry lab to get to the lab I was going to. And the chemistry people said to me, they said, you know, we smell a lot of chemicals. This just doesn't seem right. Can you test our hoods and see if we have a problem? And I go, no problem. Let me finish up what I'm here for. And if I have time, I'll do it. So I had time. So when you work with smoke candles, they tend to spark and throw off a lot of things. So we typically put them in a beaker. And so I get a beaker out, I put it in there, the smoke candle in, I light it, and out comes this beautiful red smoke. Well, what happened was, it was a 3-phase motor, for those of you that know what 3-phase is. And if you cross the legs, it changes the rotation. So the motor had been reverse wired. And so all of the air was being blown out instead of sucked in. And so I immediately filled the lab full of red smoke, and they had to evacuate the building. And the fire department comes. It was quite an excitement. So what I learned from that was, before you do that, run a small test to make sure the hood's sucking, not blowing.
Before you rip the cord on the.
It was an educational experience, and I have many more. I mean, we could spend a couple of days talking about
this guy. Hey, he could write a book on story. You should write a book on your stuff. Oh, wait a second, you already did that. Beautiful.
So anyway, I appreciate the time, guys, and
thank you for being with us.
Hopefully you'll take the opportunity to reach out to us, and if there's a basis of cooperation, we'd be more than happy to work with you.
Thank you, buddy.
See you later.
Send Vic over here when you get a chance. Oh man, the myth. There he is right there. So I'm so glad you got just a chance to hear in his head and in his heart where this all is coming from, because it really is. I mean, he's one of the most remarkable people I know. And I'm not just saying that. He's smart as a whip. He's creative. He's innovative. And I mean, he's about to celebrate his 71st birthday, and he still rocks and rolls like Ozzy Osbourne, man. I mean, he's incredible. He's really incredible. So Chip Albright, ladies and gentlemen. I have another guest coming to visit with us, and I'm going to ask him a few questions, but let's take a break. Let's type in the chat for a second. Did you find Chip's story funny, or do you yourself, some of us, Ronald, Koji, David, you guys probably have some funny stories of your own? Anything that you might want to type out in the chat and put in there? Any funny instances, either with Chip or without Chip? Leave it in the chat. Now joining me is my good friend, the legendary Mr. Victor Newman. And Victor is also a partner of ours here at Fume Hood Certified. He is the right hand of Chip. He's just as sharp, just as smart, and more educated. This guy's got more degrees than I have fingers. Just telling you what. Scoot up just a wee bit. And
Now, the one thing you have to know about Victor is he's more than just a brain. I love hanging out with this guy. So the first thing, did you come up? Oh man, the first thing I asked him to do would be break the ice, maybe with a joke.
With a joke.
You got one? Tell me.
So chemistry is a lot like cooking, but don't lick the spoon.
No chemicals, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't want to breathe it, you don't need to eat it. Is that right?
That's right.
Beautiful. Now, Vic, tell me, I want to know a little bit about your career. I mean, like I said, maybe the 10 degrees was a joke, but I'm not far off. Tell me about where you got started and how long you've been moving through this. Talk to me.
Well, I ended up in fume hoods pretty early in my career. It's unusual for a ventilation engineer to be so specialized for so long and starting so early.
That makes sense.
Most ventilation and air conditioning engineers do about every kind of thing you can imagine, big and small, different industries. But I happened upon a specialty firm, Earl Wolf Associates, and I joined them in 1983, and they just did the design, engineering, and architecture of laboratories. So at the time that I went to work for them, they had completed 1,800 laboratory building projects. In the 6.5 years I was with them, I did 108 laboratory building designs.
Wow.
So that's a lot. So I learned from them when I started. I didn't start from zero.
Yeah.
And they really educated me.
And laboratory designs. I mean, you're literally talking about somebody says, hey, I want to build a new building from the ground up. But this is such an intricate building, and it's such an important building because people are going to be in here handling hazardous things, and down the hall or on one floor up or one floor down, we don't want to be contaminating everybody. So you're literally the guy that gets, or was it in your career, you're the guy that got called to say, you need to put this over here and this in the back corner, and your air duct needs to be here, and is that right?
Absolutely.
Did you often write the specs, or would you draw these?
Both. You draw and write.
Wow.
So it's a combination of drawings and book specs.
So you worked closely with who and when you were doing those?
So what happens is the role of the lab planner is to do the difficult things for the lab, and then to help the architect and engineer for the rest of the building.
There.
So they do the outside of the building and the offices and the non-technical, and we do the hardcore lab together with them.
I love that, man. So a wonderful career, very knowledgeable, and he comes at the Fume Hood Certified Circle from just a slightly different angle, and it's incredibly valuable to our online courses. It's incredibly valuable to the information that he shares in our in-person workshops that we've been at. You've been lecturing. How many lectures have you given in these 2 days? Probably 6 or 7?
7.
So it's incredible.
Yeah, but when I was still keeping track, I trained over 3,000 people in laboratory building design.
That's right. That was a major part of your career, is seminars on the road, getting spreading the gospel.
Teaching university, doing workshops, so doing consulting. So the 3 senior partners other than me, they all designed and made fume hoods.
Yes.
So my part of the job starts at the top of the hood.
Yes.
With the duct and the exhaust fan and the stack and the VAV controls, the pressure monitors. So it's an addition. It's an extra step for everybody.
I told him at the beginning of the call that sometimes people will walk in a lab and see a fume hood and say, hey, look, there's a fume hood. But I told him it's not a standalone device. And this man's career, the fact that he's had a wonderful, successful career, proves that the fume hood is far from a standalone device. It starts from much higher going down. Yeah.
So starting in the late 70s, the fume hood industry really got better. They started using tracer gases. They had ways to know if it was a good hood or a bad hood.
Yeah.
But the ventilation in the mechanical system, the supply and exhaust and the fans hasn't kept up. So the hoods got a lot of attention, but the mechanical part, the ventilation and the air conditioning, hasn't got nearly as much attention. So it's much more likely that there's something wrong in the lab ventilation that screws up the fume hood.
See there.
We figure about 30 to 40% of the time, but the mechanical screwed up it's screwed up and the hoods don't work properly.
30 to 40% of the time, it's a mechanical issue, something above the fume hood that you can't see. It's in the ceiling,
Right.
out of
Or on
sight,
the roof.
or on the roof, out of sight, out of mind, and people just forget, right? Right. So let me ask you one more question, because I want you to speak to the heart of Fume Hood Certified. Why are we passionate about making these courses, making these products, hosting these workshops, hosting these networking events for everybody to get together? Why are we passionate about that?
So we have the knowledge. You know, we have developed the knowledge. We've worked our whole careers to know the right thing. And it's not out there. Very few people share this knowledge that we have.
That's true.
And there are hundreds of thousands of people of all ages, young peoples in high schools and colleges.
That's true.
Working people up until retirement, and their health is at risk. The Society of Swedish Chemists calculated that chemists in Sweden died 10 years earlier than other people. And it's mainly due to things like fume hoods and ventilation that's not protecting them from the chemicals.
Wow.
The Royal Society of British Chemistry did a study of 4,012 chemists that are English, and over a 25-year period. And the bottom line of that is that chemists are dying in greater numbers from lung cancer than the ordinary person. Well, ventilation and fume hoods were there to protect their lungs, because otherwise they're breathing in chemicals and they get cancer.
Precisely.
So it's a long-term effect. It's kind of like smoking without the fun parts.
It's so true. That's true. That's true, because I mean, it's literally inhalation, ingestion that kills.
Poison.
It's well said. Hey man, thank you for spending some time with us, ladies and gentlemen. Victor Newman. Hey, we're gonna get you on Jimmy Fallon one of these days.
Okay, I prefer Jimmy Kimmel, but
okay, fine. That's fine too. I like it. Actually, I prefer Jimmy Kimmel too. Fallon was just the first person that came to my mind. Thanks, Vic. All right, my friends. Now we're coming up on the last 7 to 10 minutes of the call. Guys, thank you so much. And Koji is probably already slipped out by now because he left us a goodbye message in the, yes, he's not in the chat. That's amazing. It's his son's 12th birthday. Happy birthday, Koji's son. Now, if you'll allow me to spend a quick 10 minutes with me, I'm going to share my screen and we are going to look at a few of the different things that Fume Hood Certified has to offer. I'm going to pull up 2 different websites really quickly. If you will let me, I'm going to go to fumehoodcertified.com first, and I'll share my screen in a second. Beautiful. Okay. Okie dokie. And here we go. So hopefully you are seeing my screen. Good deal. So this is fumehoodcertified.com, and this is tricolorlasertesting.com. Okay. Fumehoodcertified.com. If you go down it, we are the laboratory fume hood safety training, fume hood education, fume hood troubleshooting, fume hood testing for fume hood tester certifications, and more. Here's our online test, our online ASHRAE certification. So if you want to go to fumehoodcertified.com, if you're interested, Lena asked, do you have to be certified to be able to test hoods? This is something that can get you the certification that you're looking for. You can go to fumehoodcertified.com, and right here on the home page, you can find access to that course. You're going to get down and you're going to see a little bit more about tricolor. You can watch a 2-minute video here. But like I said, if you can't see a problem, you can't fix it. So looky here, we've got Chip and we've got our friend Dave. But like I said, I showed you in person when I was giving you the tour, the behind the sash visual in red, and then the loss of containment that lights up in green. Wonderful technology. It's so simple that, like Chip said, it's a 5-year-old could tell you if the hood is passing or not. So down here, we're going to talk about a little bit about the software that I told you. So you can come back here. There's a 3-minute video that can tell you way more than I could bore you with right now. So please hop on fumehoodcertified.com, 3-minute video. Here is the course and the book. Fumehoodcertified.com. You can easily go and find access to the book if you are interested. We also do a lot of dealings with Q200s. If you're not familiar with what this product is, this little gun-looking thing, that is a SF6 leak detector. Koji, the gentleman that was on earlier, he is one of our partners, and we sell that with Canamax. We're the only North American distributor of Q200s. So if you need to repair sales, if you need it calibrated, if you do any dealings with that, think about us. If you hear anybody that does, think about us. Moving on to the Tricolor Fume Hood, Tricolor laser testing website. The Tricolor Fume Hood visualizer, you can check this out. There's lots of videos. See, this is just a 23-second little clip, but it'll teach you so much. So I'm not going to bore you with, you guys have been so awesome and listening to me now. More about our Fume Hood performance tracker, of course. If I could quickly tell you the 5 reasons to test with Tricolor, it's educational, guys. The way that you can see air like never before and actually observe the airflow is big. So it's educational. It actually teaches you more about what the hood is doing and what air is doing around it than you would think. Next is the Tricolor challenges. These are dynamic challenges. You can see here that they're being played on a loop. These are dynamic challenges because what's the point of testing a fume hood if you're not actually testing it in the way that it's going to be used? Am I right? In a laboratory, there's all kinds of things happening. There's scientists over there in the back of the room that are walking over here to get something, and then they walk back, and then they're walking from here to there, and then you yourself are going to the restroom, and then you come back, and you're pulling things in and out of the hood, and you're moving your hands around the hood, and you're raising and lowering the sash. You see all this material exiting from hood. Just look at how an example of failure. See how me moving around creates all of that green smoke to come. So that's how you know that your hood's not containing well. The third thing is better reports, more clear reports. What did I joke? What's the joke? What's the joke for today? A 5-year-old or a 5th grader could tell you if the hood contains or doesn't contain. So that, I mean, literally it's that simple. It is still ASHRAE, but average face velocity, SF6 testing is not as easily comprehensible. Like I said, I already told you that ASHRAE is not a pass-fail standard, so you can't even pass or fail a hood simply on an SF6 test. So with this dynamic containment testing, you get to actually see, and then I already told you about the database that's accessible with the QR code. Yes. So next, Tricolor is less expensive. If you wanted a full testing SF6 equipment, we're happy to sell you one. You know why we're happy to sell you one? Because you're going to pay us $50,000. And that makes us happy. No, but I want you to be happy too. Doesn't it sound a little bit better to spend $7,000 and to get equipment that's more robust, easier to use, and explains whether and actually shows you, not explains, but shows you if the hood is passing or failing, containing or not containing, performing or not performing. So you tell me, you can stroke us a check for 50. I'm fine with that. Or you can stroke us a check for just $7,000 is what you can get the whole Tricolor kit for. And the last thing is it's an upgrade from face velocity testing. A lot of testers just go in with a hot wire anemometer and they'll do the face velocity test and they'll give you an average face velocity test. But what we're here to tell you, just like Hoodie is telling you right here, is there's actually no direct correlation between face velocity and containment. Now, face velocity can tell you if your hood is on or not. That's great. If I turn my key on, if I turn my car key on and the motor works and the motor turns over, it tells me that the car's running. But there's a lot of other things that have to work. I got to be able to put it in gear. I got to be able, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to paint a picture here. So an upgrade from face velocity testing, Tricolor, even though the full protocol still involves a face velocity profile. So never fear, we're not kicking face velocity out. We're just adding to it. So the Tricolor is a more robust and it's better, it's upgrade from that face velocity testing. So you're actually doing your clients and users and lab owners and lab participants a favor by upgrading your testing protocols. There's a great video here. It's only 7 minutes long. If you'd like to come on tricolorlasertesting.com and check it out. There's some more videos that like, what should you expect when using tricolor? What do you mean about this red and green laser stuff? Hey, isn't there a blue laser, Luke? You didn't tell me anything about the, I won't bore you. Please come. It's a 2-minute video. You'll learn tons about it. Here's another video. We watched it today in our class. It just shows you all of the different things that are inside of the box, everything that you get for this $7,000 price. Like I said, I'm happy to take a $50,000 check if you want a SF6 test, but if you'd prefer save some money, let's first talk about tricolor. And then lastly, you can join our Fume Hood testing network. I don't know if we have any testers on with us. I'm sure we do. But you can join our Fume Hood testing network because we get people that reach out to us all the time asking if we can certify their hoods or test their hoods and take care of them. And we don't do that personally, but we'll send those to people that are, you know, if we have a tester that's close to that client that reached out to us, that person that sent us an inquiry, we'll put you in connection with that. So you can actually generate leads by being a tricolor tester and being part of the Fume Hood certified family. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And we are approaching the 6:02 mark. Guys, it has been so much fun hanging out with you. I've had a blast. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope this wasn't boring at all in any sense of the matter. I hope that you enjoyed getting to see the warehouse and getting to learn a little bit about us. I sure did enjoy telling you about us. Let's spend another 10 minutes or so. Anybody that wants to ask more questions, let's chat. You can unmute yourself, and I already see a couple of questions in the chat. Stacy asks, after scanning the QR code, what information can we see? What a great question. So initially, let me tell you, it first depends on who you are. Anyone can walk up to the QR code, scan it, and they will receive I'm actually going to go ahead and just share my screen with you one more time. And they will be able to see a test report, right? A pass-fail test report, pass good, pass fair, pass bad, fail miserably, you know, etc. Who tested it, when it was tested, and the methods of testing. Yes. So you'll get to see that. Anybody can scan that. Now, if you have access to the back end, like you are the tester or the lab owner or the EH, if you need this, you can get access to it. Where'd it go? Hold on. Here. You can see here that you can quickly pull up and you can start to see all of this interesting info, like the hood style. It's a benchtop hood. It's 72 inches wide. It's made by, actually it's a Kiwani hood. It was tested by Supreme Air. There's the hood identification number. It's the same hood. It's the same that's on the label. And then you can see these. What this means is you can actually categorize it into the software by organization, building, floor, room, and finally the hood identification number. So say that I tested for Arizona State University, that's the organization. Say that I was in Jefferson Hall, that's the building. Say that their chemistry lab's on the second floor, that's the floor. Say that it's in room G7200, and then I go in and there's an individual fume hood number. So I can actually locate every single hood that I've ever tested. It's all on the cloud. It doesn't go away, and it's accessible in more than one way. It's accessible on the back end, and it gives you all this wonderful information, and it's also accessible on the front end, and it gives you this really easy, really well-read and simple test report. So, wonderful question. What else we got? Talk to me. Let's see.
Hey, Luke, you mind if I
Thanks,
chime
Luke.
in real
Please
quick?
give my best to Victor. I sure will, Stan. It's such a pleasure. Thank you. Ronald got to see David. I love when people get together again. Good to see you, Ronald. Koji has already left the building, but Chip Koji logged on. It's wonderful to see him. I think somebody asked a question up here in the chat. Yeah. Lena asked, does the person have to be certified? Yes. That's what I want. Yeah, I touched on that. I already touched on that. The person, it's better. It's a lot better because of liabilities, because you don't want just any old blow Joe taking care of your stuff. You don't want that in any area of life. You don't want to take your car to a mechanic that doesn't know anything about cars, do you? No. And you don't want your hood tested by somebody that's not properly certified. So absolutely need certification. Any more questions? Absolutely. Weber, chime in, baby. Let me see. Can I unmute you? There you are. You're unmuted. Talk to us, Dave.
Hey, one thing I wanted to mention, Luke, great question about the QR code. Keep in mind that not only is it a depository for all of the information
you're
about the hood's
but I can't hear you.
Oh, let's try this again.
Or can I?
How's it now? Nope, nothing yet.
You are so welcome, Lena. Oh, hey, you know what? I think I know why. I think I know why you can't talk, Dave. Hold on one second.
I think they can hear me, Luke, but maybe you can't.
I can fix this. Hold on. Where is it? At somewhere I accidentally pinned myself as like the person on the screen, and I didn't really mean to do that.
Well, let's be rude and talk over Luke here. But here's the thing: on the QR code,
got it.
It can also be
okay. Dave, can you chime in now, buddy?
Yes, I can. Now? How about that?
There you are.
Yep. Okay, cool. So with the QR code,
beautiful. There you are.
It is a depository for everything performance oriented about the hood. But also keep in mind
that I still can't hear you. But I don't know if that's a me thing or if that's a you thing. Hold on. Dave, buddy, oh no, that's me. See ya. Okay. Okay, well, I can talk, so that makes sense. Dave, buddy, I'm not sure that your mic's working, man. Feel free to interrupt me at any point if that gets working, and I'll tell you if I can hear you. But yeah. We've still got Elise on here, Lena, Stacy, Stan. Is there any more questions that I can answer for you guys? At this point, we're kind of wrapping up. You can hear Dave. I'm the only one that can't hear Dave. So maybe I'll shut up and let Dave talk.
Okay, we'll try this one more time. That program on there that's via the QR code is completely customizable, number one. So an organization, whomever, can put whatever information they wanted in there, in addition to all the performance information. As well as that, though, it could be miscellaneous information. It could be a manual on the hood. It could be a general safety information about the hood or about usage. It could be a login. So again, not only can it be a depository for all the performance and the certification and the testing information, it can be the place where all the information about that hood resides in one place. And so a user, a tester, whatever, can also take advantage of that. So it's got unbelievable customizability. It's got unbelievable capacity. And what we're trying to do is say, there's no sense in having a dozen different documents out there all about the life of this hood. It should all reside in one place, one location, accessible to anybody who wants it, who needs it. It's always right there via the QR code. So it can become whatever you might want it to become. Thanks, Luke.
Man, dude, that is so true. And it's perfect. Thank you for saying that, because customizable. And that's what you need. Every tester is different. Everybody operates different. And that's what you need. Beautiful. Lena asks, how long is the certification? The one that you saw on the website, that on fumehoodcertified.com that you can sign up for, it can be completed in a day easily. If you start, I mean, you'd probably get through the material, and then you would take a test at the end, and then you schedule a Zoom call with Chip or Victor, and you get to talk to them, and you get to ask them questions and have that 101 teaching time that's included in that price. So theoretically, you could have your certification in 1 to 2 days, 3 days but you can get through the material that's in the course in an afternoon, maybe 3-4 hours. Wouldn't you say? Love that question. I love that question. What else? Like I said, my friends, if you want to excuse yourself, you are more than welcome to do so. Cheers. I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes. I've got nowhere to be. I can answer questions and chat, but thank you guys for joining us. And like I said, cheers. Here from Fume Hood Certified in Phoenix, Arizona. But yeah, guys, chat with me. I'm happy to stick around and hang out. But like I said, you're more than welcome to excuse yourself. We're wrapping up. We're done. I got to show you everything I wanted to show you. Thank you, David. I miss you, buddy. I already told you that on our last partner call, but I can't wait to see you again. Appreciate you hopping in and chiming in and participating like you did. Any other questions? Stacy, you were one of the first people to log on. Thank you for staying here with us this whole time. That's incredible. I really appreciate that. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Thank you, Elena. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Thank you for sending that in the chat. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thanks for the information. I enjoyed it. Take care, Elise. Such a wonderful, she says my oven technician is here. Well, best of luck with that. You take care of that. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us. Such a pleasure. Such a pleasure. Any other questions? Did anybody have a joke? No? No? Well, how about one more cheers for the road? I've enjoyed it. You guys take care. Till next time.